All right, guys, this is Tony from Metabolic, and today we're going to be working on the hang power clean. So what does that look like? Hang power clean. Pick up your dumbbells from the floor. All right, do a couple from the side. All right, so the first thing about the dumbbell hang power clean is my posture, right? So when I'm bending over, all I'm doing is I'm not bending my knees, I'm unlocking my knees and pushing my hips back, right? So unlock the knees, hips go back. Now I feel tension in my hamstrings and my stomach's tight. Chest is open, okay? So if you could see, my spine is in a straight line, right? So that's what we want. We want to protect the spine, okay? So if I had one of these handy, you'd be able to see, I've done this so many times, right? Boom. So this is where I'm at in the hang. It's just a kind of like a half kneeling position. And my spine always stays neutral, okay? So this, you could see this PVC pipe is in contact with the back of my head, the middle of my back, and my low spine, okay? So that ensures me that my spine is neutral, okay? As opposed to some people, when they hinge, they're rounding their back. So the PVC is not touching, right? Rounding my back. So what do I have to do? I have to engage my lats. I have to pull my shoulders down to my hips to get that, right? So basically rolling my shoulders back there. Another big common fault I see is people will have their head up too high, like this. So it's missing the center of their back. So you kind of want to have your head on an angle as well, okay? So you could practice with one of these at home. You could just put it, or a broomstick, any kind of stick. Make sure that it's touching 3 points: the bottom of your spine, the middle of your back, and the back of your head. You could put your hands on it, and then what you'll do is you'll slowly push your hips back, and then if you feel it raise up, you just stop there and kind of just correct your position. So wherever it's coming off of those points of contact, you just have to stop and reset, okay? So that's keeping the spine neutral. That's what we call keeping the spine neutral, protecting the spine. So as I'm doing that, the next thing I want to do is I'm going to want to come up onto my toes, right? So I hinge, I'm down here, my hands are hanging, right, off to the side, not in front, I'm not rounding, they're straight. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up onto my toes and shrug my shoulders. So hinge, up and shrug. Hinge, up and shrug. Up on the toes, shrug the shoulders, okay? I'll do a couple from the side. Hinge, push the hips back, up and shrug. Hips go back, up and shrug, okay? That's step 2. So you gotta practice those movements. So what I'm looking for, when I hinge, come up and shrug, I'm looking for that hip to be wide open. So when I open, you'll see my hips come up high. They're not staying closed like that. right? See, there's like a little V shape in my hip there. So if I go right, or I'm not getting my, you gotta think of like bringing your shoulders to your ears, okay? So you gotta practice those two moves. Third is what you're gonna do is you're gonna go and push the hips back, go into this position, you're gonna come up, shrug, drop, back down. So into a little quarter squat. So that quarter squat, right there, boom. So what you'll do is you'll practice your footing. So your feet start from about shoulder width, and then when you land, so what you'll do is you'll come up onto your toes, and then you'll practice dropping down into that quarter squat position. At the same time, you're gonna bring your thumbs to your shoulders and have the elbows pointed straight. Okay, so it's gonna look like this. So I'm up on the toes and then drop. Reset, bring the feet back in. Up on the toes, shrugging high, drop. Okay, so you'll practice that. I'll do a couple from the side. So here's what that looks like. I'm up on the toes, my shoulders are shrugged, and then dropping down into that catch position. Up, shoulders are shrugged, dropping, catching, and resetting. So where do my feet land? Once I'm up on the toes, they start off at shoulder width. Once I'm up on my toes and my shoulders are shrugged, when I come down, my feet land just slightly outside the hips or outside the shoulders, right? So starting up, just slightly outside, and then I reset and stand. Okay, so you'll practice that if you're at home. Practice these drills without weights first. So, and then lastly, with the dumbbells, we put it all together. So, hips go back, jump, shrug, catch, reset. Let me do that without talking. And then if you want to learn how to cycle them and move through them a little bit quicker, that's for another video, but for now, this is all you're going to be practicing. Hips go back, shrug, catch, stand. All right, guys, hope you liked that video. That's the dumbbell hang power clean.